It started one Thursday night, the kind of night you forget as soon as it's over. I was on the couch, half watching some late-night show, when the power cut out. The whole apartment plunged into darkness. Not a long blackout, maybe 8 seconds, tops. But in that sudden, absolute silence, I heard it for the first time. A soft laugh, echoing in the dark. At first I brushed it off. Must have been someone on the street, right? A car radio, maybe kids messing around. But then the lights flickered back on, and the laugh was gone. The weird thing was, it didn't feel like it came from outside. It felt, closer. That night, I couldn't shake the feeling. I pulled the blanket up to my chin, telling myself I was being ridiculous. But it came back the next night, and the night after that. It was like a ritual. As soon as I'd settle into that quiet space before sleep, there it was. An echo, crawling through the wires of my mind. It wasn't loud, more like a whisper you can't quite catch. I started covering my ears, pressing my palms hard against my head, but the sound was still there. It wasn't coming through my ears. It was behind my eyes. I tried to ignore it, to live my life, but the sound began to follow me everywhere. I'd be on the bus, staring out the window, and suddenly, mixed with the rumble of the engine, I'd hear it, a faint giggle. At work, staring at my computer screen, the low hum of the office electronics would morph into that same, soft laughter. Even when I tried to find a moment of peace, closing my eyes to pray, it was there, twisting the silence into something mocking. It was a laugh that didn't belong to anyone. It wasn't joyful or menacing in a way I could understand. It sounded like a child's giggle, but it was mixed with static. It was sharp and metallic, like the sound of electricity trying to speak, like a frayed wire sparking in the dark. It was unnatural, and it was getting under my skin, burrowing deep into my sanity. My friends started to notice. "You look exhausted, man," one of them said. "Everything okay?" How could I explain it? That I was being haunted by a sound. They'd think I was crazy. Maybe I was. I had to know. I needed proof. So, one night, I set up my phone to record. I sat in the dark, my heart pounding in my chest, waiting. The silence in the room was heavy, suffocating. Then, right on cue, it started. That soft, electric giggle. I held my breath, letting the phone capture it. A minute felt like an hour. When it finally faded, I scrambled for the light switch, my hands shaking. I had it. I had the proof. I pressed play, my ear close to the speaker, desperate to confirm I wasn't losing my mind. The recording started with just the faint hum of the room, and then, the sound came through. But it had changed. It wasn't just a laugh anymore. The laugh said my name, a distorted, childlike whisper, crackling with static. Daniel, Daniel. It was as if the voice was coming from inside my own lungs, a parasite breathing with my air. The phone slipped from my grasp and clattered to the floor. This wasn't just in my head. This was real, and it knew me. After that, sleep became a luxury I couldn't afford. Every time I turned off the lights, I'd see it. In the corner of my eye, a shadow in the shape of a person, a faint outline against the deeper black of the room. And it was always smiling, a grin I could feel more than see. The laugh grew louder whenever I was scared, as if my fear was its food, its fuel. The more I panicked, the more it delighted in its own existence. I became obsessed with silence. I started unplugging every device in my apartment, the TV, the microwave, the fridge, even the digital clock by my bed. I went to the breaker box in the hallway and flipped every switch to off, plunging myself into a tomb of my own making. But it didn't work. The laugh kept humming through the walls, a low thrum that vibrated through the floorboards and up my spine. It wasn't in the devices. It was in the very wiring of the building. It was everywhere. Then, one day, it just stopped. I woke up, and the world was silent. Not the heavy, waiting silence from before, but a genuine, peaceful, quiet. The air felt lighter. I stood in the middle of my living room for almost an hour, just listening to the nothingness. It was over. I was free. I actually smiled. A real, genuine smile, for the first time in what felt like a lifetime. The relief was so overwhelming, I almost cried. I walked to the window, ready to finally rejoin the world, and that's when I heard it. A laugh. But this time, it wasn't the static whisper in my head. It came from the apartment next door. It was my neighbor, Mr. Henderson. I heard him laughing. Then, from the floor below, another laugh joined in. Then another from across the hall. Soon, the entire building was erupting in a chorus of laughter. But it wasn't human. Each laugh was tinged with that same metallic, electric static. It was a symphony of madness. I looked outside, my blood running cold. The city was flickering. The streetlights flashed on and off, in perfect rhythm with each wave of laughter. It was like the sound was alive, a massive entity living inside the power grid, and every person was now its speaker. I stumbled back, scrambling for the bathroom, the one room with no windows. I slammed the door, turned on the faucet, and covered my ears, trying to drown it out. But it was no use. Even the water pipes began to giggle. The sound vibrated through the plumbing, a tiny, tinny laugh coming right out of the tap. Now the world outside has gone quiet again. There's no traffic, no voices, just a faint, electric hum in the air. The kind of hum you only notice when everything else is gone. It's waiting for someone to listen. So, if you're ever alone, and the lights go out, and you hear a sound in the silence, if you hear a soft, static laugh, ... whatever you do, don't laugh back. Don't even smile. That's how it starts. That's how it finds you. Thank you for joining me in the fear circuit, where the laughter never dies. If you felt that chill run down your spine, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the wires. Stay safe, and stay vigilant.